Hello and welcome to another session of Instagram marketing. I'm just going to wait for a couple of you to log in. Oh, hello. All right, for those of you who are joining us for the first time. Oh, hey, Catherine. Hi. My name is Hannah Kloot, and I'm a founder of Hannah Kloot Marketing, which is digital marketing agency where we work with the companies within interior and home industry. Now, every week, we run an Instagram live where we help businesses like yours to get more information about what digital marketing techniques, strategies, platforms we recommend to use and to give a little leg up to your digital marketing. Now, this month in July, we've been focusing on email marketing, and it's been my mission to convince you that within the world of digital marketing, email marketing should be a number one activity which you should be doing. So I think by this point we should be pretty well adversed in all of the technical aspects of it. But I know that after you do all the setup, after you do all the templates, all the ideas, it always just comes down to how to grow your email marketing list. Oh, hi, Chris. Good to see you with us. So this session is going to be all about that. Create how to grow your email marketing list. I have 34 different ideas, which I'm sure you can use across different platforms, and just to create strategy which works for you. Now, one thing which I'm going to say, if it's your first time logging in, don't worry. You don't have to take any notes. There's no reason for that. Just make sure that after the session, you click the link in the bio, you scroll down and subscribe to our newsletter, because every Thursday I send a follow-up notes with all the resources, with a library of links from which websites I was taking information. So, if you don't want to pursue this right now, you just want to save it and come back to it later, just do that. Also, if you have any question throughout the stream, just feel free to write it in the comments. And that's one of the perks of running a live session, that I'm able to actually communicate with you. So please ask away. But now let's sit back and enjoy another session of interior marketing. So, firstly, why do you need to grow your email marketing list? Now, that's an obvious one, but in order for your email marketing list to really generate a new lead and new potential customers, you need to be sending a new content out there. But you also need to make sure that people know about the fact that you have the email marketing list. It needs to be promoted. Having it sort of tucked away somewhere on your website, never mention it, that is not formula for success. So I would say there are certain things which you can do to support your list. The very first one would be make sure that you have a subscription form on your website. Now, I usually recommend to have it in the footer of your website. It does not have to be on a landing page. If you have one of these, like a full width image static, it's fine. But if you put it on about page, and also not many people subscribe from the landing page unless it's you send people there. It's usually about page, services page, contact page. It's a good idea to sort of add unintrusively a subscription form over there. So do keep that in mind. That's the first step. Now, second step is a pop-up. And I know many of you will say, oh, I absolutely hate pop-up. And I agree with you. If it's not done well, it could be quite intrusive, quite annoying, and it spoils the sort of relationship with the brand and your experience visiting their website. However, if the pop-up is executed well, it can actually help you generate more and more subscription from the people who perhaps haven't even thought about signing up. But when it pops up at the right time at their screen, they're like, yeah, I'm going to subscribe. Now, within my notes, I have actually came across this really interesting statistics. Okay, this is the one. I'll just flip the camera to share that with you. So this is from one of the blogger. Now, it has nothing to do with interiors, but I found it interesting. This is when Christopher has removed his pop-up from the website, and you can see that all the subscription statistics just went down immediately. So, and I could share with you my statistics from the MailChimp, where about 45% of all people who subscribe, they subscribe through the pop-up. Now, I would say it's really, really important that when you're creating a pop-up, you time it well. First thing, I wouldn't go anywhere under 20 seconds. Meaning, if people don't spend at least 20 seconds on your page, then after that, the pop-up appears. You can also place this strategically so it only shows up on a certain pages. So for example, only if people look at your projects or only if they look about page. You can also time it so that it only appears if they scroll at least to the middle of your page. So that way that optimizes the experience as well. There's so many ways how you can adjust this so it appears at the right time. But I always think, if it's done well, it actually benefits your page rather than, appearing intrusive. So first, subscription form, make sure that you have a pop-up. Then another way is, Chris is just writing, totally agree, pop-ups done well are imperative to growing your email marketing list. Yeah, agree, 100%. I think if it's done well, then it really, really can help your website. Another thing is, we talked about this a little bit before, segment your list for different buyers personas. Now, this might be, you will be sending a different type of content to your, let's say, suppliers, retailers. You might be sending a different content to your potential clients. Even if you're interior designer and you don't have retailers and all of that, you're most likely going to have B2B clients and B2C clients. So it is always good to nurture these by sending them a buyer persona specific content, the different type of informations which will help one type of persona to convert. And there are different types of informations. Let's say, for example, if you're working with property developers, the informations which you're sending them, they're probably going to be much more technical and much more industry specific than just a general person who's looking to renovate their house. So do make sure that you do at least a basic segmentation at the start. Now, another part which will help you to grow more efficiently is to do a regular email cleanse. Now, I have just done that recently and I think I have removed probably about 30 contacts. It's not too much. Will this live be saved from Kavara Home Styling? Absolutely. It will be on IGTV. So if you need to run away, don't worry, you can catch up on this later. So talking about email marketing cleanse, it's always a good idea to send just a one-off message to the contacts who haven't opened any of your emails, let's say, in the last 6 months, just to mention would you like still to receive our email marketing information. I think if they don't, then there's no point keeping them on your list. Now, there's no sort of element of benefit to you having these contacts on your list, and there are a lot of downsides. If you have a larger list, let's say over 2,000 people, or with some other providers, like I think ConvertKit allows you to have up to 500 people for free, you have to pay money for every single one of these contacts, larger your list is. Now, if you on Instagram, for example, having more followers sort of works as a social proof that people should be working with you, but nobody sees how many subscribers you have on your email list. And if you are sending an emails to people who are not opening it, that's just sending information to the server that your content is a low quality. And in the future, not if you have like 100 subscribers, but if you have thousands and thousands, that can decrease deliverability significantly. You probably realize your email automatically has a spam filter, which spams out the things which you don't want to see. And you don't want your email blast to become something which ends up in a spam. So that's another reason why you need to do that regularly. Now, when I say regularly, once in a quarter, I think it's perfectly fine. Send a campaign. The people who don't sorry, just delete these completely. There's no reason to keeping these people on a list. Another element, start blogging. If you're struggling coming up with ideas, what to write about, just start blogging. Start writing about things within your industry. Start sharing your expertise. Start answering the questions which you're receiving over and over. Create the content. And then you have something you can actually email people. You can notify them about your new content. Also, with any sort of form of subscription, it's very important to make it clear from the very start what is in it for them. You know, what they're gonna get when they subscribe. Set up expectations early on and make sure that they know how frequently they're going to receive the email, what sort of email are they going to receive, how is it gonna help them, how is it relevant. You know, even if it's just one sentence, set up expectations early on. Now let's dive straight to the ideas of how you can do it. So I divided it by platforms so we can discuss one at a time. But some of these are the things which, for example, I'm not doing yet and I'm planning to. So I'm very confident we can get all of these techniques in place pretty quickly. So first one, create great email content. That goes without the saying, but for people to want to be on your email list, to want to receive your emails, it is a good idea to create a premium content, something which people cannot get on any other platform. So for example, for me personally, people who are subscribed to our email list, they benefit from receiving a premium resources every Thursday from our Instagram marketing session, interior marketing sessions. And these resources are not available anywhere else. You cannot find them on my website. You cannot find them on Instagram. They are only available specifically for our email subscribers. Now, what you could do is, for example, create a short summary, create infographic, any sort of piece of content, or record a video where you're sharing some sort of insight. Just make sure that at your email list, the content which you send out there still has a premium feel, and you're really making those people feel special with providing them with something which nobody else has access to. Second idea, encourage subscribers to share. It is incredible that just simple call to the action and having these buttons that people can share it with somebody else who might find it relevant really helps to spread the word, to get more relevant people to subscribe. I would say a good way is to start with actually having these buttons. And if you remember our session on a MailChimp, it actually allows you to write a text next to it. So that's a good way to sort of embed the call to action. So email to a friend, share on Instagram, share on Facebook. Don't get discouraged if that doesn't happen very often. If you have a list under, let's say, 500 subscribers, it will happen quite sporadically, but it's a good habit to get into, because then when your email list is much larger, this will probably become a significant source of a referral traffic for you. Now, one thing which I think it's really easy, really clever, and you can do it today and it will make a big difference, is to add call to action to subscribe to your email signatures. Now, especially if you're in a company where you have multiple employees, each one of them is probably sending tens of emails every single day. Now, every single one of these people should be on your mailing list. If they are not, maybe you will receive an inquiry from a new potential client or somebody's asking about something. It's such a little thing, but it just gets so many eyeballs, and I think the signatures often are being underused. I have actually downloaded just a template image. Now, this is not interior specific, but there are a lot of signature generators where you can actually embed this. So you can just put there like a call to action, subscribe to our newsletter, which leads to the landing page where people can subscribe. It doesn't have to look actually like a button. It could be a link. It could be just a simple link with a call to action where people can click. So it doesn't have to be super complicated, but I think this is an area which many of us are underusing and which can really end up in quite a lot of new subscribers. Next option, create lead generation offer. So I feel I need to specify first what is the lead magnet or lead generation offer. This is a sort of piece of document or piece of content which is perceived as a high value to your target audience. So those would be people who are the most likely to become your customers, who are the most likely to become profitable customers. I think it's important to design it with your target client and buyer persona in mind. I will give you an example. For example, if you're working with the B2B, and a lot of your clients are interior designers who are specifying particular aspects of a bespoke furniture, you can create a chart which shares different sizes of the different most commonly specified materials. For example, thickness of the different sheets, the thickness of the different materials, what is the largest plank which comes in that particular wood. all of these informations, and people can keep it as just a simple spreadsheet. This is perceived a high value. Another option would be, for example, if you're targeting B2C, a checklist. 10 questions to ask before deciding to renovate a bathroom, for example, then things which you need to specify, or a shopping list, which things do they need to consider. It's always just think about the type of job which you need to get, and what would lead these people to perceive you as an authority, to attract them, to basically attract them same way as a magnet. So couple of ideas: be specific. Your lead content magnet needs to be addressed to a specific problem that your audience might have, and provide a solution. It needs to provide a valuable information or solution to the problem. Forget the length. Now, it doesn't have to be super lengthy to be useful. If you're strapped for the time, just think about something which could be A4. But it always comes down to, is it high value? Is it really going to help and solve their problems? If that is thus, length doesn't really matter. And provide quick benefits. Within the minutes of opening your lead magnet, if people feel empowered and more confident to make their decision, you won. You have gained that person who's already trusting you, who will keep you in mind for the future projects. So as long as you meet those 4 criteria, you're on a good way to attracting the relevant audience. Now, I have mentioned only creation of the lead magnet, but what is actually the sales funnel? What is the process of getting a person to a subscriber? Now, a lot of email marketing platforms allow you to create a dedicated landing page. Now, what is the landing page? It's basically a page which is created as separately from your main website, which perhaps has a title, bathroom renovation checklist, or kitchen renovation guide, ultimate guide. And then you have there some informations about the lead magnet. You would have there a window where people subscribe, and a button where they can submit their details. Now, because you have created it as a specific URL, then you can send it to people when you're reaching out to them on Instagram. You can use it in your bio. You can use it in so many different ways and promote it in so many different ways. But what it ultimately means is that it is designed to convert people into your email subscribers. So I think it's a wonderful idea, and it's good to create at least one lead magnet, but ideally at least the minimum one for every single one of your buyer persona. Now, another option how to get people to your website, and often that is free traffic and organic traffic, which we all are after. I mean, that's what we do in Google Ads, is to create a free online tool or a resource. Now, resource, again, that refers to like a lead magnet, let's say Ultimate Guide or something, but a free online tool. For example, a lot of people are Googling how to measure a certain thing or how to do certain thing. So I have found a lot of links leading to curtain size calculator. This is something which is really easy to code, which is really easy to set in motion. And if you're doing soft furnishings, this is something which you should have on your website, because it's going to bring a lot of relevant traffic, and it's really going to set you apart from all the other websites within the area. You can also create a bonus content. Now, we have talked a little bit about, I've been forcing you to write blogs ever since we started into marketing, because honestly, you need to be writing blogs. It helps to bring relevant traffic, it helps you to rank better, and it just creates so many benefits for your website that I really think that you should start blogging today. Now, what I mean when I say a bonus content, let's say that you have written an article which is about, I'll go back to the bathroom renovation, which is talking a little bit about certain aspect of the bathroom renovation. Let's say how to choose the right tiles, how to choose the right bath, what sort of sinks are all the rage, whatever it is. If you have a lead magnet which is referring to it, let's say a bathroom renovation checklist, you can add that link to that landing page within your article, embed it there, and that way people who are actually coming just to read an article, they will click on it and they will become your email subscribers. Again, this is one of the things, you do it once, it happens, it's done, and you don't have to worry about it. So this is all in terms of just the email list. Now, how can you get more subscribers using social media? First one, promote online contest. So if you have a contest, and I will get a little bit into it, what sort of specifics should be so it's actually benefiting your business. You can promote that on a social media, and one of the elements of people to join should be that they should use your email list. Now, I think mistake which a lot of businesses do is that they specify within the context a product which is appealing to the vast range of people, or a service, but not necessarily something which is only appealing to, let's say, a target customer. And this is just so important. I will give you an example from like a marketing area. There's no point offering people that they can win an iPad, because that's appealing to probably almost everybody. It's so much better to, if you're targeting, let's say, marketers, to offer a book which is about a really specific niche within the marketing, because that way it's only going to appeal to the right type of audience. I hope you know, sort of, I mean, write me in comments if you have any questions, but I hope you kind of understand what I mean with this. So if I was, for example, a furniture company, I would offer in a competition, for example, like an add-on service, or offer to select a bespoke finish from the scratch, or help people to work on developing new product, or develop or creating a free very popular product. If I was a service-based company, then I would offer, for example, a free consultation or a free specification of the product. I just think it's so important that when you run a competition, you really need to make sure that the offer, the gift, the price is only appealing to your target buyer persona, because otherwise you're wasting your time, you're wasting your money, and you're filling your email list with leads which will never turn into actual customers, which are just bargain hunters. Sorry for using that term, but it's what it is. Also, when you create your lead generation offer, your lead magnet, you can promote it on social media. You can promote it by adding a link within a bio, together with call to action. So you will often see me that in my bio, I keep changing this like a last line and updating it with the latest information. So for example, right now, if you go into my bio and you see there's a call to action that the email blast with 34 ideas how to grow your email marketing link is coming out live tomorrow. So, and then there's an arrow pointing down and there's a link to my website. I update this quite frequently. If I have a new lead magnet, if I have a new article, resource, anything what's happening, I'm offering people to book an appointment for consultation, I usually put it up there, and it's good to keep that up to date. You can also promote it in your Instagram stories. You can promote it in your post. Now with an Instagram stories, some of you were asking me about how the swipe up feature. Now, swipe up is only available for an accounts which reach at least 10,000 followers. So for many of us, especially small businesses, this is going to be something which is more aspirational right now. And you will have to stick with the good old link in bio and sending people there. But if you have over 10,000 followers, I highly recommend that's an excellent feature, because you can actually send people straight away to the relevant page. Now, another one is adding call to action to your social media platform. Now, when I say social media platforms, I mean all of them. You can actually add sign up button on your Facebook page and include there the link. You can, on your YouTube, I believe you can also add their subscribe button. Now, Twitter, I don't talk about Twitter because I don't think it does much for interiors. I haven't met a company which it does. On a LinkedIn, again, you can also select the link to your website, whether it's to your website and what sort of call to action you would like to include there. So that call to action could be visit our website, sign up, purchase, book an appointment. So choose the one which works for you, but it's not a terribly bad idea to encourage people to sign up. Because if you're already doing all of these activities on social media, I mean, I always say this is something which you don't own. We don't own social media, it's a tool. But ultimately, you would like to get people on your website and on your email list where you have a little bit more control over the kind of experience which they're getting. Another idea, publish links to the gated content. So I have mentioned this again before in relation to the content, creating a bonus or a premium content. Basically, the way how it works is that people can only access it after they submit their email address. And you can also use it in a way that, for example, you publish a 2-part blog post, and the first part is free, available, and for the second part, people need to add their email address in order to access that content. You can also use social media ads to drive traffic to your opt-in landing pages. For some of you, you might think that if you're running an ad, you would like to run an ad to get a client. But especially within the interiors, it's considered purchase. It's a high value purchase. So just by running one ad, it is not likely that you will land many clients. You might have some leads, but you will get a better return on your investment if you add this in-between step to it. So if you're running an ad, I think it's so much better to run an ad towards your lead magnet and collect the leads from there, and then having a welcome sequence with a series of emails which are designed to develop that lead. So for example, one, just a welcome email after they sign up, then some informations about your services, then perhaps a case study of one of the projects you did before, and then the last one, call to action for them to book a free consultation. Now this removes any sort of stress, and the sequence of the emails really builds the relationship with the client and warms them up as a possible lead, because the people who will actually open every single one of the email and get all the way to the end, they're most likely to become your client, and the percentage there is much higher than when you're asking people to take an action straight away and book an appointment straight away. Even if the appointment is free, it's just there's this perceived risk of, I don't know you know, what if you'll pressure me to agree to something I don't want? But adding in between the sequence of the emails really helps to build that trust which you need in order to make a sale. Next one, for those of you who love, like me, to help others help, you can also use Quora and House and answer the questions which appear there. So search for a specific questions which relate to your industry and relate to the work which you do. What you could do is answer these questions, include there the link. It's also a good place where if it organically flows, you can also include the link to your lead magnet, for example, because these answers are published there sort of without any time limit. It does not expire, it's evergreen content, people can access it anytime. It's likely to give you quite a lot of eyeballs of your possible customers and relevant reach. The only downside to it, I would say, especially with Quora, is that it's an international page. So if you're not product-based business, but service-based business, which is usually tied to a certain area, it might not be necessarily worth your time, because there's no point getting an inquiry from somebody from San Francisco when you're really just servicing Kensington and Chelsea. You can also answer questions in the Facebook groups. Now this gives you an opportunity to target your audience a little bit better. And if, for example, you're serving, let's say, Chiswick and Fulham, you can join the local Chiswick and Fulham groups. You'll probably won't see your industry relevant question that often, and it's a good idea to sort of check in every month and see where you could engage with people and build that relationship. But I think on sort of like an ad hoc way, once every month, once every 2 months, it's definitely a good idea to take an advantage of that traffic. You can also participate in linking groups, again, in the same way. I would just be careful when you're choosing the groups. A lot of them are, in a way, sort of one-sided, that people don't really engage, but people shout a lot in a way that they're just publishing their content. They're just publishing what's happening with their companies, but they're not necessarily engaging with the others. So make sure that you filter it out, that you're really reaching out to the relevant people, and that you're engaging with them, that you're not just one of these people who are publishing the latest blog post and then never engage with anybody else's post whatsoever. Now going to the next section is about how to maximize the sign-up options on your website. One of the options is, and I think this one is a tricky one because I've seen it mostly on sort of like a mid to low price websites, but I think if this is executed well, it could be done on high-end websites as well, which is to ask for feedback or offer answer to the questions. You will notice that it's often done with an integration from the Facebook, where you have this sort of like a feed button in a right bottom corner, where people could click and they can ask you a question straight away. And usually if person is not available to answer straight away, it will ask for an email address to respond to them later. Now, yeah, you have a lot of different plugins if your website is built on WordPress, and there are a lot of other integrations either through Facebook or through other platforms, how you can add this to your website. And it could be a good way, especially if, I would say, if you're product based and you sort of, mid to low price, a large amount of inquiries, this could be a good way to capture the lead. You can also, I have a question from Wise Owl Interiors. How often would you say you need to leave before you send another email in an email sequence? This is a really good idea. Good question. Excellent question, actually. I would say, and maybe I've mentioned it already before, the welcome email usually has the highest open rate. So I actually think it's a good idea to make that, especially if you're driving an ads towards it, to not leave too much time in between. I mean, leaving a week, it's too much. If you leave in between, let's say 2 days, I think that could work. And again, another thing is you could test this. I would probably start by leaving, by sort of sending an email like every single day. That might sound like too much, but when people just sign up, they sign up for a reason. So sending one email every single day, I don't think it's a bad idea, because that way you can go from start to the end within 1 week. And if people don't convert at the end of it, then they can just automatically be transferred to just a regular emailing when you send one email once a week or once every 2 weeks or once a month. But just like keep working on it while it's still warm. If this doesn't result in the sort of leads which you desire, you can always turn it into one every 2 weeks. You can turn it into one every 2 days, one every 3 days. But in general, what is recommended is to speed it up towards the end. So, for example, if you would like to send one email every 3 days at the start, then maybe last 2 should be one on a day 1 and one on a day 2. I would say experiment with this, because it's not going to be exactly the same for every single business. It varies by industry, it varies by your target client, by your price. I would say more expensive the product is, the more expensive the service is, more time you need to add in between. Usually the less expensive it is, the more fast forward you can be. Now, going back to what you can do on your website to generate more leads, you could also add multiple offers across your website, and I do encourage you to do so. I actually find one on Decorilla. I will quickly show you, because this is such a great example. So they have right here free design consultation. They also had a sign up option at the bottom, design and home flash sale right there. So you can see that they have multiple different places where you can sign up, where they can collect the lead. And the reason to be is different people going to respond to different calls to action. So it's a good idea to embed quite a few of them. As I've mentioned, you would like to have a sign up option at the bottom in your footer. You also maybe would like to have pop-up, and you would like to have at least one lead magnet on your website. Now those are 3 places where a person can potentially join your email list, and none of them feel super intrusive, super saturated. Even if we add to it maybe some bonus content within your blog post, it still feels quite well balanced. Next one, create blog readers can subscribe to. Yeah, it's a good idea at the end of the blog to include call to actions for people to subscribe if they would like to be notified about similar content like this, because if people read all the way with an interest to the end of the blog post, they're likely that it's something which interests them and which they would like to read more of. Now, another one, and I like this one, is to create a quiz. And actually, Wise Owl Interiors, I have borrowed this one from your website, so I hope you're okay with that. Creating a quiz is really effective way how to get people involved very, very quickly. Make sure you keep it to like a 5 to maximum, very, very maximum 10 questions. So it still feels personalized. It doesn't feel too generic, but people actually get a response. Usually choosing between 3 to 5 possible results is a good way to do that as well. The thing is, if people answer at least 5 questions and then you ask them for an email, it's actually they're already so invested in that process that they're likely to give you an email. So I will just quickly show an example from Wise Owl website. And she has this wonderful quiz, what's your interior style? So I think this is a terrific idea. And the quiz, you can do it on so many different topics. It could be about the style, about what sort of service people need. For example, if you're explaining the difference between interior design and interior architecture. And that also helps you to pre-qualify the lead and sort of find out more information about them and about their projects before the project even starts. Another option that's usually used for not ultra high-end luxury, but more sort of mid-size to lower size, is to offer a discount or coupon offer. This is something which sometimes is attached in a welcome email, or which is embedded in a pop-up, for example. It's usually better for products rather than services, because sometimes if you're discounting your services too much, it could be perceived as a low value. Trick design, great tip. Oh, thank you. Offer a discount or coupon offer. I think if this is phrased well, it could be used in high end as well. But just the way how I've seen it up until now is that usually a discount or a coupon offers, they're being mostly for products and sort of like mid to low end. I think if you were looking to use this tactic on a high end, then it would be some sort of add-on service. So personalization, free postage, like a free sampling or something like that. I think it could be spinned in a way that it's appealing to your target clients as well. Another, add subscribe form to your footer. We already spoke about that. Add newsletter opt-in to your contact form. So many of us, instead of just having an email, you would have in your contact form. What you could do is to add there a little button where people could tick if they would like to receive the newsletter. Now, it's very important that the form is not pre-ticked, because if it is, then you're getting in troubles with GDPR. We don't want that. So just make sure that it's unticked. The way how to add it to your website, I'm not sure about Squarespace, Wix, because I'm not too familiar with these platforms, but I know on a WordPress, usually when you get a plugin for the forms, it already has an option to add that to your form. So it should be pretty much straightforward. Okay. You can also, I've already mentioned this, but I'll mention it again, create different lead magnets for different buyers persona, especially if your buyers persona are completely different, meaning, you're working with the property developers, you have your product with some retailers, but you also have a private clients. Each one of them is buying from you for a different reason. So make sure that you provide them with a lead magnet which is tailored to their exact needs, and the reason answers the sort of sends the right message to the right people why they should be shopping with you. Next one, with a partner. When I was explaining different types of email marketing messages, one of them was called a co-marketing email, which basically means that you partner with another company to run some sort of promotion, maybe launch a new product or offer new service, or you just run something like Instagram Live in a partnership with somebody else. What you could do is to help each other by running an information about the partner through their email campaign. This is especially fantastic if, let's say, a large company is looking to get a little bit more contemporary edge by inviting a small dynamic designer to speak with them. For you, it's amazing because you will get access to their long mailing list, and for them it's amazing because it helps them to bring sort of PR which they would like to. You can also create a marketing offer with partnership with another business. For example, create a lead magnet, which you create together to help each other's email marketing list. Or you could just, share a co-marketed email and send it across to your email marketing lists. Now, let's not forget traditional marketing, because especially if you have a shop, this is something which you could be doing every day and which really, really makes a difference. So collect email addresses at the trade shows. What a lot of people do is that they scan the badges. For example, they did it on Decorex, when they would ask people to scan the badges. But by scanning the badges, you're really just willing to contact them and information after the show. It does not automatically gives you a permission to add people to your email marketing list. So to your like a newsletter and regular email marketing list. So just be mindful of that. Also, when you're hosting your in-person events, you can collect, I always encourage people, collect the email marketing addresses from the people who attend, obviously with their permission, informing them that you will add them to the list, and you will, for example, send a follow-up email with the pictures from the evening. That's a good reason to really make sure that you don't get in that awkward situation when it's like, can I add you to our newsletter? No. Make sure that it's clear what is in it for them. Always, always, always. You can also host a webinar or Instagram live. And again, you see me doing it all the time. I do make sure that in every single show, I mention at least 2 or 3 times, because people pop in and pop out, that they should come to hannaklo.com, scroll all the way down and subscribe. I'm making it very clear what is in it for the people who subscribe. I send the free notes with really helpful resources, which then they're just like a Word format or PDF. You can keep it on your computer. You know, if in 2 months you're ready to start doing some activities for your email marketing, you can always come back to it. Another option is collecting email addresses in store. Now, I spend a lot of time in Design Center Chelsea Harbour, and there are quite a few boutiques where when you ask for the samples, they will give you this form where you sort of write exactly what you want, and you have their options to tick if you would like to be added to their email marketing list. Now, one thing which I noticed is that not many sales assistants actually ask the question when they're getting details. Would you like us to add you to our email marketing list? We send out blah, 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 blah. Usually, and I did this myself, I've been in that position, 90% of people will say, oh yeah, absolutely. But if you don't ask, if you just leave it up to the other person, you're not really doing a good service to your brand. And if you're owner of the brand, and if you have a boutique, and if you work with the staff, I would make this your priority. Make sure that the people know that there is their responsibility, and it's something which is very, very important to the brand. You should not be giving anything away, even if it's just a free sample, even if it's just a free quote, if you don't have an opportunity to contact the person and to keep developing the relationship with them. Now, almost last one, add email offers to the packages and boxing with the mailings. So, for example, if you're shipping away your product, this is again more product-based companies, do make sure, just in case if those people are not on your email marketing list, to include, even if it's just like a phrase which you have on your invoice, or if it's some sort of, you know, like a card offering free shipping for the next order, or something, anything. Make sure that you include it in a package, because this is the person who already purchased from you, who's already very happy. You know, think about what you would like them to do next. Should they recommend you to a friend? This is also a great opportunity, for example, to ask them for a review. Ask them to leave you a review and offer something in return. I highly recommend, don't underestimate another opportunity to communicate with your client. And last but not least, which is related to referral traffic, is write a guest post. Now, I'm really a big fan of writing a guest post, because it's a completely win-and-win situation. You're serving somebody else's business by offering to give them a free content, and we are all strapped for the time, and we're always struggling to think about what we should publish next. I see the hearts, you agree with me. So you're serving that business, but at the same time, you are going to have there a nice piece of content which has a link back to your website. That's a great source of referral traffic. It's building your SEO, and if that link is linking to your email subscribe list, then it's also actively building your email marketing list and helping it to grow. Now, I would choose companies which are complementary to yours. For example, if you're an interior designer, think about your suppliers. If you're a supplier, think about your interior designers. This is a good way because you're not really competing, you're working in a partnership. So this is a great way to serve one another. You can also try some online magazines. Although they usually ask for a price, they sometimes ask for a guest post to be paid. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. It's usually much more cost effective than running any sort of banner ad or any sort of a featured ad, and the cost is usually not very high. It's somewhere around, let's say, £100, 120 to 300, depending on their traffic. And this thing snowballs over the time. So while maybe one link will only offer a tiny bit of traffic, imagine having 10 of these or 20 of these. Within a year or so, this could become a source of lot of new referrals for you and your business. So that was the last one for me. Now, just a couple of other ideas how you can grow your email marketing list. There's a simple two-part formula for building the list. Have a valuable initiatives. Make it clear for people what is in it for them if they join. Make it easy for them to subscribe. Don't try to over collect too many informations. I usually just ask for email address, the first name. If you do any sort of birthday initiatives or any of that, you can actually split the form into the 2 pages, meaning that they will, let's say, add their name, their email address, they click, and on the next page you will ask for more details. Just make it easy, make it straightforward. You don't want to lose people halfway through. And that will result in a large email list, which then again you would like to segment to make sure that you maintain this really, really well. I have actually found when I was doing research yesterday, it's called 30-day roadmap to grow your email list. Now, what they're promising is to grow your email list with 1,000 new connections within a month. Now, it's a lot of work. I don't think either one of us will have enough time to do all of that. But I think it's an excellent idea in sort of step by step. Even if you do one activity per week, you're really gonna start seeing a significant increases in a way how your email marketing list grows. And a lot of these activities, they are sort of one-off. It's not something which you have to do every single day or every single month. It's something which you do once and it's gonna keep serving you ever since. So make sure that you subscribe at hannahclaude.com because I will be sending this tomorrow, and it's so nicely structured, like day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. And obviously, if you would like to support us, there are a couple of ways that we can do it. First one is like the post announcing new training session, share Instagram story announcing new training session. I've noticed some of you doing it every single week, and it just makes me so happy. So thank you for that. You can also invite a friend to join, share this IGTV with anybody who you think that could benefit from these informations, or forward the email which I'll be sending out to our subscribers tomorrow to anybody else who might find it helpful. And you can also leave us a review on Facebook at facebook.com/hannahclaude-marketing. All right, I have a little announcement to make just before you all run away. I'm going to be taking a month off in August, and we're going to be back in September with a little bit new format. I'm going to be doing one Instagram marketing session per month, which is going to be based around one topic. And I also am excited to launch in conversation with I have met so many inspiring interior professionals or people who work around the interiors. And I would love to start a new monthly sessions when we're going to invite these specialists, we're going to ask them about their experience, their recommendation, their insight, and we can share it with all of you. So, while I'm gonna all miss you in August, I think it's gonna be great to take some time off, relax, recharge, come up with the new ideas, and we're gonna be all back in September, just in time for Decorex and Focus. All right, thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to see you in 1 month. Take care, bye.